Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, sorry, sorry, just come at me there. Like, hi. Yeah, look, my name's Al Turner. I'm working with my colleague Adam Parry, and we are curating this stage over the 3 days. And just to bring you up to speed, if you haven't been on the stage before, if you have, you're probably going to hear this for a number of times. But just to give you up to speed, what we're doing here is this is all about tech for good. The theme of the show is tech for good. So what can tech do for the good of events? What can tech do for the good of the world? And what we've done is over the 3 days, we've looked at, yesterday we looked at now. So what's the tech, what's the trends going on now within tech? What do we need to know now? Today is about near, so what's kind of coming over the next sort of 12 months, maybe a bit longer than that. And tomorrow we're going to have some fun, and we're going to do all about next, which is far into the future, some real future gazing and some speculation. All of these talks are going to be available as a download on YouTube on demand after the show. So if you did miss anything from yesterday, I do urge you to have a look. It's part of the story we're trying to tell on Accelerate over the 3 days. And obviously, if you can't be here for tomorrow or later on today, then again, do have a look at those sessions. They're all available. We have Slido, which is up here as well. So happy to take questions via Slido, or towards the end, maybe we'll just do the whole hands up thing, just because we have the event tech, we don't always have to use it. Anyone that's been to any of the sessions this morning, I think it's not surprising that the dialogue for NEAR is all about inclusion, sustainability, goodwill and ethics. And that's been a common theme so far today. And I'm delighted to have Nour, who is the founder of WizMe, here to talk about his personal story as well, not just as a event tech prof, but as a human being and a person, and an incredible journey that he's going on, not just to bring a great product to the market, but to bring some real much needed values to the market as well. No, thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to let you speak, and then I might jump on at the end and ask you some questions when you're ready. Cool. If we should give Nour a small ripple of applause to welcoming him onto the stage.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session. My name is Nour Mouaki. I'm the founder and I like to call myself Chief Wizard of WizMe, which stands for Wizard for Meetings and Events. Here's WizMe. So I'm from Aleppo, Syria. I lived most of my life there, adult life. And I learned a lot from my city and my country. We used to have a beautiful country, beautiful city. Learned hospitality really at early age. I used to have like struggles a bit with my learning because of my ADHD. So I was really good at school, but then I managed to get into English language and literature. And during my time there, there was a small college that opened in the old city of Aleppo. So I got invited to join, and there I started learning for 2 years tourism, hospitality, and French. So really, I started to love hospitality when I worked there, and I did early stage or training periods in the old city of Aleppo. I really fell in love working in hotels, serving clients at the front office. That actually, well, I think the early seeds of me loving hospitality and being very customer focused. So I worked in the hospitality in Syria, different brands, and I worked across different departments for different hotel groups. On the side, I used also to hustle, so I love music so much. I'm a very passionate person in general and about music, so I used to do lots of music events. So I kind of experienced both sides in Syria, whether organizing events, booking venues and do the rest of the job, or working in hotels and understanding, the struggle and of the salespeople handling meetings and events on property. So now because I did English language and literature, I felt I didn't achieve a lot in my life. All my friends were surgeons and engineers, and I thought I would like to travel and explore the world. And since I was a kid, I really was dreaming to move to England. My dad used to kind of send me to do private English courses when I was young. And during this time, I fell in love with England, and I just wanted to move to England. Um, so in 2007, um, I was I was kind of we went through really tough times with my family. I've got two brothers and two sisters who are younger than me, and we just got shocked with the news that my mum had cancer in the brain, and then we lost her within 100 days. During this time, I was working for Sheraton, and I didn't realize that I'm going to lose my mom, so I was working, and it was quite a shock for the family. But then after that, I just wanted to travel, and I wanted to learn, study, and explore the world. Um, so I was looking to travel to Switzerland, do hotel management, and I ended up moving to England in 2009 to do my master's at Durham University. So I did masters in marketing, and after graduation, I joined the Intercontinental Hotels Group. In between, I did a few jobs, but I was looking for really a job in my field, which I love. Now, I joined the Intercontinental Hotels. I was based in the head office, and I used to manage global clients. That gave me, an exposure and a different angle to understand the business from a different angle. So I used to manage corporate clients, so I gained an experience with the corporate buyers, I understood the intermediary market, and also understood hotel chains and how they work. And during all these years, I always was kind of shocked with how meetings and events are booked and managed across the whole value chain. And I thought I would like to do something about it. But unfortunately, as being Syrian, I didn't have the right to start a business. So I changed my visa many times, from student to after work. I got 2 years work permit, and then the Intercontinental Hotels gave me a highly skilled visa. But then, as you all know, the war started in my country, especially in my city, Aleppo. It got destroyed, and it was really tough for me to, to live a, say, a normal life. And while my family is, at war zone, where sometimes I couldn't speak to them. I didn't know whether they were alive or dead. So it was really tough to balance things out, like between life and your family. And during these years, I really wanted to. I came up with the idea of, with me. So I wanted a bit of safety net. So I gave up my highly skilled visa and I became a refugee in England. And after I became a refugee, I had the right naturally to be free and do what I want. So I left ISG and I worked for a tech firm for a few years. In 2014, I learned about tech sales. And in mid 2015, I started my journey with WizMe. It's been really a really tough and long journey. I'm a solo founder. I didn't have a tech background. Um, so I really learned the hard way. So I started my journey building the product with an engineer. It didn't work. I failed first time. It was in 2016, 17. I was really going through a tough time because I was on my own here in the UK. I could not ask my family for help or support. And at some point, I was with my ex. We were not a great fit. In my head, was very ambitious and kind of I wanted to solve the problem for the market. So I broke up. I became homeless. Then I crashed on my friend's sofa, East London. And I remember I got invited to a very big event in Aix-en-Provence or in Nice to speak at Innovation Lab about WizMe. So I said yes. And at the time, my friend who was hosting me, he thought that I'm a bit insane. Like, I've got 2 months to go and present, and I had no product, no team, no money. I said I will figure it out. It was really tough 2 months. I managed to build what I needed to build. Now, 1 week before the event, I went to book Airbnb because I didn't have money. And I realized that the event was actually in the mountain. It was not close to Nice, so I couldn't find an Airbnb close to the hotel. And of course, because of my ADHD, I didn't check early where the hotel was. So it kind of was last minute. I realize it's far. And I'm like, I need to be there because it was a all-inclusive resort. You know, you get to network with people and you know, spend time with them. And you know, I had this aha moment. I remembered I have HSBC credit card, and I called the bank and I asked if I can activate my card. So I activated the card. With all confidence, I called the organizers to stay at the hotel. And at the time, they told me, sorry, like we asked you a few times and you said no, so there are no rooms booked available for you. So I'm like, okay. And I booked with Airbnb. On Friday, I was on my way to the airport and they called me. They told me one person out of 500 canceled their booking. Would you like to take the room? So I'm like, okay. I canceled my Airbnb booking and of course I took the room. And there I met a lot of people from the industry, amazing people I didn't know, I built relationship with, people I knew before, and I cemented relationship with during this event. And as a result of that event, I managed to secure investment again from people in the industry by October, November. And as they say, sometimes the stars get aligned. It's funny, I was checking out from the hotel and I gave them the credit card to pay, and they told me the room is paid for. So basically, the guy who cancelled, his company covered the booking as it's last minute. So I didn't have to pay the 600 euros, which I didn't have in the first place. So we took the money, and towards the end of the year, and I started building the product. So I went to work with an agency, and I brought a product expert or a product manager, and we started developing the product in London beginning 2018. So of course it was a new start, a new code, a new product. I mean, everything was kind of, we started it from scratch. So we built what we call an MVP, like a small version of the product. And then we went to the market. Then I realized that, you know, in the B2B world, you can't have an average product. Like, people won't take risks. So you need to have a proper product. Then when I was shocked with that reality or learning that, I realized that I've got a bit of money left, and in order to enhance the tool, I need a lot of cash. So I went to the engineers that developed the product for us, and they said, we need this money this time. I'm like, that would not work. So I started thinking that I have a big network of Syrian people. Like, I'm a networker, I've got a huge network, and I thought maybe I know there are a lot of amazing Syrian engineers. So maybe it could work both ways. I give people opportunity, they learn with us, and at the same time, we, you know, build great product. So my brother at the time was in Egypt. He's a banker, and I thought maybe I want to support as well my brother. So I made him. He set up his own development house in Egypt, and with him we started recruiting underprivileged engineers, distributed workforce, if you like, across the globe. And that's where really the journey started. We were very lucky. We really recruited amazing top talent engineers. And like, you know, they were all fresh graduates. We were giving them an opportunity to learn with us, and to build themselves and support their families. And at the same time, we were building great product. So we kind of developed the product further with few engineers towards the end of 2018. And then we wanted to start again from scratch. So we restarted again, developing the product in 2019, fully developed by our team, in-house team. So we built the product. It took us around a year, and then we got our first customer, but then COVID hit us. So we used the time wisely during this period to develop the product further. And at the time, I came up with a new concept, basically, for the tool, and that's where we started developing WizMe from scratch again in 2020, and here we are. Now, I want to show kind of why did I start WizMe? Like, because I worked in industry in different departments, I know how stressful it is for anyone to book events. So whether corporate employees, if they want to organize events, or agencies, or even the venues themselves, the staff that work on the venue, in the venue, how much time they waste in doing manual work, and how stressful it is for them to do the business. So based on that, I kind of looked at the whole process, and really reimagined how meetings and events should be booked. And I designed a solution from scratch with our team. Um, Today we're targeting venues to start with, but we have a technology that is ready. It's a comprehensive ecosystem to book venues end to end. Um, so we target organizations, intermediaries, but at this stage, we are targeting venues because we're lacking content compared to the large players in the market. And the premise really for the venue market is to empower team to to convert business and to deliver to customers great events, and most importantly, really to uplift that booking experience for people to make it really seamless for them to organize their events. Um, I'm really like proud of where we got to today. I'm sorry because I'm talking. We didn't I didn't share some photos with you. So here are some photos of my beautiful city, Aleppo. Uh, some of my back in the day, Durham, my first day at ISG. There was Virgin Startup Competition in 2016, and yeah. So I don't have a lot of product kind of slides to show you. I just wanted to share my story with you, really. But so that's the problem in terms of the booking for meetings and events, how manual it is, and all the challenges the market have with that process. And then he comes with me. It's about really focusing on getting people together, and that's where with me can assist as being your or the meeting and event booking wizard. It's almost like the assistant for anyone in the process that guide them through that booking process to make sure that booking process is quite seamless and easy for everyone. Um, and really, like, because I'm from Syria and I've been, I mean, I was very lucky and fortunate that I didn't, I was not in Syria, but I know from my family, I know what people go through. Like, really being good to society, to community is part of our DNA. I mean, we partnered with charity, so where we donate some of our profits to the charity, so they support. Just to Drop is our current charity partner. We donate for every booking to them, and they support women and they do women empowering projects in Africa and water sanitization for kids. Really, my dream is to grow with me and have our own charity where we can support people and kids, education, different areas based on my experience. We also, I think, care about the environment and about sustainability. So also, we would like to help hotels, clients deliver more sustainable events. And finally, we are a minority-owned business as I'm still a refugee. In fact, I've been waiting for my citizenship for many years, and I'm going to share a story that and probably share with you here. I've been waiting for a few years for my citizenship, and I can't go and see my family because I'm a refugee. We were invited to Web Summit to to have a stand, which is the biggest trade show for startups. And I realized I need a visa. So it was all last minute. I booked, but I just realized last week that I've been awarded my British citizenship, but the government sent the documents to my old address 6 months ago, and they didn't send me even an email to tell me that you are British. So I had to go through a lot of anxiety and stress in the last few months, really. And like coming here, I had to book appointments and go through a whole visa process to get it. But I'm glad to share with you the news. I didn't share it with anyone yet because I'm still waiting until I do the ceremony next week. Then I'm happy. I really want to go and see my family. Like, things have changed a lot in the last 12 years. Three of my siblings got married. I've got three nephews, one niece, and I know no one. I have, I kind of, I'm almost very distant from them. So really can't wait to go and see them. Um, and I mean, we still have 10 minutes, so I hope you enjoyed my story. And we really look to collaborate and work. We have, I believe, great technology. So please, I've got my details here if you'd like to scan. And thank you so much for listening. So
Well, let's give it a round of applause and congratulations on your citizenship.
thank you.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's
Thank
great.
you.
People, there's Slido up there. If people do want to ask questions, and by all means, put your hand up if you do. I just had one, if that's okay, Nour. I was just wondering, as someone, it looks like that the ethics and your values is sewn into WizMe. Was that a conscious choice, or do you think that comes from your own background, your own personal story?
It comes from first from my family, I guess. I was raised with my dad was a leader, and I was brought up seeing him how he cares for people, how he supports. So I think I got that from my family, my upbringing, if you like, and also my circumstances and what I've seen people going through. It's just kind of opened my awareness, if you like, towards the world and what happens more. So yeah, it's part of our DNA, part of our team. Everyone, I think, live and breathe these values.
We had a chat earlier on today, and one of the things I was interested in is the welcome. So obviously, I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are between how welcoming this industry has been to
Yeah.
you personally, to WizMe, all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
also, how does that set against how welcome you've been trying to get citizenship and things like that? How's the welcome party been for you as you moved out of Syria and into this wide world of ours?
It's been great. I mean, I must say, when I moved to England, I didn't find any difficulty to integrate, especially my family. Like, Syria is not, you've got people who are religious, you've got people who are liberal. So I came from a liberal background where it was easy for me to integrate, and I really felt welcomed in the UK, especially when I arrived in the Northeast. People are extremely friendly there, and you meet a lot of British people. While, of course, in London, you've got different. It's very cosmopolitan in terms of the number of different nationalities you have. But yeah, felt very welcomed. And with regards to the industry, of course, I love the hospitality. Like I mean, even like during my days working for ISG, I used to go with my girlfriend. I still remember once we went to Malta. Every day I go and work. Like, I go to the club lounge and I do work. So I love to work. I've got that in my ethics. I love to deliver. And I just love this industry so much because I'm very people's person, and I feel I just belong to the events industry and hospitality. And of course, everyone who is in this industry, I believe, is the same. So very welcomed indeed.
Very good. And I mean, your story is incredible, and congratulations on how much you've achieved. So
Thank you.
But setting up a tech startup, an event tech startup,
Yeah.
over the last 5 years, I mean, mad crazy, obsessive, but just, I mean, how difficult has that been for you? How are you?
If you like, probably if I knew how difficult it is when I started the business, I wouldn't have started it. Developing a technology and getting it into the market is very, very, very difficult. There are so many things that are involved in that process, um, but I would say it's worth it. You know, I think if you can have a positive impact on the market, on people's life, it's worth it. Maybe
So
at the end, yeah.
and I have one last question, unless anyone has got any other. But if you had, I'll do my last one in just a second. But I
Yeah.
will pass on to this gentleman here who has a question.
Thank you. Not where do you get your drive from? I mean, you've been knocked back a few times. Obviously, you know about what's happened to you. The family back in Aleppo. What makes you want to carry on? What doesn't make you think, actually, do you know what? I'm going to go and work. I'm going to get someone to pay me my regular salary, and I'm just going to get on with it. What makes you drive and driven to carry on doing what you're doing?
Thank you. First, I think it's the passion for the industry, passion for to to change things, because I believe I've got the knowledge to develop the right product. I've got what it takes to develop it. But I think most importantly is my family, is my country. If I grow with me, if we manage to grow with me, I can help my country, I can help my people. So I think family is a big drive for me. Make them proud and be able to help them.
That's great. Great question. Thank you.
too.
And then just lastly, I mean, I'm not sure how many entrepreneurs, how many techpreneurs we've got in the audience, or how many people are just entrepreneurs at their own desk. But if you had one piece of advice about being proactive, being an entrepreneur, what would you give them? Just to put you on the spot. One piece of advice for everyone before they dash off back to IBT.
Resilience. I think it's a very. I find resilience is a very important trait for any entrepreneur. That keep going and keep pushing, because you will always have closed doors. It's about finding the door that will open for you. So, yeah, the resilience and the passion for what you do.
Fantastic. Nour, thank you so much.
you so much,
And a round of applause for Nour. And thanks so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a great
Thank you, guys.
IBTM, everyone
Thank
else.
you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.